What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some insane battles in the Ultra League Weather Cup, running a triple legendary dragon team with Reshiram, Kyurem and Palkia. Now this might seem like a mean team, but I went positive in all 4 sets I did and finished with a nice 5-0. Initially I ran Fire Fang on Reshiram for coverage against Alolan Ninetales and Alolan Sandslash, but in my first 2 sets I only saw one Ninetales, but I did come across many teams that all 3 Pokemon did resist fire, so in the end I did switch it for Dragon Breath and it was a lot more consistent. Surprisingly, I actually saw quite a lot of spice from my opponents today, which was really refreshing to see. Now I'm actually going to show you some of my battles with the Dragon Breath Reshiram first, and then I will include a few bonus battles with that Fire Fang towards the end. But before we get into the battles, let's start with the question of the day. What's your favourite legendary dragon type Pokemon? Let me know in the comment section down below, let me know why, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Reshiram into Lantern. Our 3 dragons don't really have a problem facing Lantern here, but I'm going to try and be fancy, make a catch onto my Kyurem. Unfortunately, they don't throw straight away, but they do end up throwing anyway. They go for a Thunderbolt and then they swap into an Abomasnow, so it's a clear indicator that they're not well suited to take on multiple dragons here, so it looks like I'm gonna have a pretty good time here. Gonna let this move go through. We did debuff their attack and I'm gonna be able to make it to a last second Glaciate before they make it to the Weather Ball, and Glaciate doesn't take them out, but we Dragon Breath snipe them before they can throw their charge move there, so that's pretty good. We do maintain switch advantage and they come back in with Lantern, so they clearly do not want to see a dragon type with their back Pokemon. We go for a Glaciate, we get this Lantern so low, gonna come in with Reshiram, I'm gonna bait them to try and surf, and then swap into Palkia, but the opponent swaps out into Credilli. This is still an absolutely fine matchup. You can see Grass Knot does quite a lot of damage, but these Bullet Seeds just aren't adding up whatsoever. Gonna go for an Aqua Tail here, farming to the Draco Meteor. We do grab a shield from the opponent, make it to another Aqua Tail, and I don't care if they let us go through. It's pretty much game over at this point. They're going to have to go for a charge move. We can let it go through and we will be able to just fully Dragon Breath, farm down the Credilli, and then Dragon Breath, farm down the Lantern. My opponent recognizes that and we take that game. So you can see a pretty comfortable win there. My opponent was just not prepared for dragons whatsoever. And into the next battle, it looks like it's the same story. Might even be the same team here, but they do swap instantly into Abomasnow this time around. And I'm just going to stay in. Obviously, a Fusion Flare will just completely one-shot Abomasnow. We grab a shield, and at this point, I don't really care if my Reshiram goes down. They clearly don't have the best response, so it doesn't really matter which dragon I choose to keep alive. I'm just going to choose to keep a shield instead. Going to come in with my Palkia here. I will shield once, as they will be able to make it to a last-second Energy Ball, but I'm going to come out with quite a lot of energy from this matchup. So, going to farm up a ton of energy. They come back in with Lantern, so I go for a Draco Meteor just before they make it to a Thunderbolt. We do grab a shield, the final shield, and then I swap and I catch the Thunderbolt onto my Kyurem here. It doesn't do much damage whatsoever. They come in with a Regirock, so not the same team. I'm actually going to shield in this matchup because I believe I will be able to make it to a Draco Meteor in time, and I do get there. How much damage does it do to the Regirock? It takes them out there. Regirock is an absolute insanely bulky Pokemon, and we just took them out with that Draco Meteor. They go for a Surf, it doesn't do much damage. I'm going to swap out as they make it to another Surf. The opponent holds on to that energy, nice play, but I'm able to get to an Aqua Tail, and even though I'm not going to make it to a Draco Meteor on my Kyurem, it does not matter. They are easily in range for me to go for a Glaciate and take out this Lantern, and I will be able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Reshiram into Tapu Fini. Now, this looks bad on paper. A Fairy into a triple dragon team, and also all of our moves are resisted by this Tapu Fini. Both the fast moves and all of the charge moves but it doesn't matter. They're hitting us for resisted water gun damage too. The only way they can do meaningful damage is going for a Moonblast, and we do correctly shield it here. They're going to come in with a Bomber Snow, so a Bomber Snow does seem very common. We're going to go for that Glaciate, but we don't have a massive energy advantage like we did in that first battle, so they will be able to make it to a second Weather Ball just before we get to a charge move here. So they will be able to take switch advantage, but they undercharge it, and they just allow me to get to a move here. Not sure if they lagged or if this was intentional, that they wanted to farm down with the Tapu Fini, but it really works for me because I can come in with my Palkia. Oh no. Whoops. I just hit the mic there. Hopefully that wasn't too noisy, but I shield up the Moonblast, and at this point it's going to be game over. Even though they've got 2 shields and a Regice, we can tank any charge move here, even a Blizzard, I believe, so gonna let this go through. It's a Thunder, it does decent damage, but not enough. Gonna bank both Aqua Tails there, and I don't quite make it to a Fusion Flare. The opponent goes for the Blizzard there, it doesn't take us out, and now we can go for a Crunch just before they farm us down, and now this will be grabbing the final shield from this Regice, and now we can go for the Aqua Tail. Doesn't even matter if they make a catch because we've got 2 loaded. First one takes out the Regice, and the second one will be landing on this Tapu Fini, and I think with just 1 or 2 more Dragon Breaths, we're able to take out the Tapu Fini and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, and a Alolan Golem in the lead. So obviously a rock type into a fire type is not great, but we do resist the Volt Switch damage, and this is just going to be a Rock Blast. Rock Blast not the strongest move, so we do tank it, and we can go for a Crunch here, hoping to grab a shield, but the opponent does no shield it, and they're happy to play out the 0 shield matchup, so I'm fine with that too. Rock Blast does take me out. I come in with my Kyurem, and the opponent's going to come in with a Shadow Wall Rain. Now typically, you guys know I don't really like to bait. I love to just full send a nuke, but today and yesterday I had so many Draco Meteors shielded, so I'm going to go for a very risky bait, and they do call it, and that is exactly why I don't enjoy baiting, because this just feels so bad here. We go for the second one expecting maybe they might shield a potential Dragon Claw, but they don't. They take me out, and then they've got a Kyurem of their own in the back. And if we just went for that Draco, we would have been able to win this just from fast moves alone, because you can see there, they do debuff me, but I still get the Dragon Breath farm down, and they're able to take me out there. So if I just full sent that Draco Meteor, we would have won that game, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you bait, it doesn't work out. Sometimes you full send the nuke, and it also doesn't work out. But into this battle, we led into Terrakion, a very cool pick. They're going to come in with Charizard. We go for a Crunch just before they make it to the next Dragon Claw. Crunch grabs a shield. They're going to be able to fully farm me down here. And I come in with my Kyurem. Honestly, I should come in with the Palkia here, but I'm thinking I'll take the damage because obviously Terrakion has a great matchup here, but they full send the Blast Burn, and I try to snipe, but I'm still not able to take them out before they reach a Dragon Claw, and that is a massive mistake from me there. Honestly, yeah, not the best play. Now they get to a charge move. I don't know what they've got in the back, so I'm going to respect the damage. It is a Sacred Sword, and now the opponent comes in with Jellicent, and my only win con here is full sending the Draco Meteor. We saw the opponent didn't respect the damage last time, but this time around they do, and that's unfortunate. We do get to an Aqua Tail for some very small chip damage on a CMP tie, but it just does not matter at this point. They did overfarm. We've got almost no energy on our own Kyurem, and that's going to be game over. I actually stop attacking. The opponent does get to a charge move, and this Shadow Ball will take us out, and we do lose that game. So definitely some unfortunate baits and full sending the nukes there, but into the next set, and we lead into a Keldeo. I think this is the only Keldeo I've seen. I'm expecting they're not going to go for a close combat straight away, so we let the Sacred Sword go through. We do tank it, and all our moves are resisted, but honestly, the Dragon Breaths are really chunking, so I now swap into my Palkia. The opponent probably will go for a close combat this time around, and that's exactly what they do. They now come in with the Jellicent. They're running Bubble, so I know that I will be able to tank a Shadow Ball. The opponent does go for the Shadow Ball, and now I'm going to full send the Draco Meteor once again. And Draco does connect, it takes out the Jellicent. They come in with Incineroar, which is a pretty spicy pick for this meta. I'm going to come in with my Kyurem here, and I will be letting the first move go through. I'm expecting them to just go for a flame charge, and that's exactly what they do. Doesn't do too much damage. I will have to shield the next charge move coming from this Incineroar, but we go for a Glaciate, we grab a shield, we debuff their attack, the opponent goes for a catch, they don't get it, and now I can shield this up, go for another Glaciate, and I will be able to deal big damage, but the opponent... but I swap out there for some reason, but I know I will win the CMP tie anyways, so Glaciate takes out the Incineroar there, and I'm able to take that game. So made it a little complicated at the end there, but still able to take it. Into the next game we see Barbaracle. They're actually running Mud Slap as the fast move, very interesting, and then they come in with a Clawitza here, which is another very spicy pick. Fair play to this opponent, but we're going to go for the back-to-back Aqua Tails. Our Dragon Breaths have just absolutely chunked them. Unfortunately, Aqua Tail barely doesn't take them out, but they're running Crab Hammer and they get the boost as well. But I'm able to Dragon Breath farm them down. They come back in with the Barbaracle. They are running Mud Slap, so it's a bit tricky here because I'm expecting Cross Chop, or obviously they could have Stone Edge. They go for a Cross Chop, that would be super effective. They now come in with the Jellicent, so I'm going to go for that Draco Meteor. We get there on the CMP tie with this Jellicent, and it does connect. Unfortunately, it barely doesn't take them out here, so going to shield up the Shadow Ball, get a full Dragon Breath farm down. Our attack is debuffed, by the way, but I'm going to go for a Glaciate here just before they throw. I actually threw on alignment there, expecting a CMP tie, which is unfortunate, but then I swap, I catch the Cross Chop onto my Reshiram, and that's going to be game over. Opponent looks like they've just force quit the app there because of that catch. I'm able to Dragon Breath, farm them down, and take that game. So into the next battle, we see a Jellicent in the lead. I'm going to swap out, although Reshiram does actually win the one shield up against Jellicent, just because with that Dragon Breath damage, by the time you make it to the second crunch, it will be enough to take them out. But it doesn't really matter. Going to come in with my Kyurem here, go straight for that Draco Meteor, and it does connect. It takes out the Jellicent. They come in with their own Kyurem, so I'm going to come in with either Pokemon here. Don't think it really matters. I come in with the Reshiram. I'm going to wait until they do throw a charge move. Probably going to be Glaciate, so I will shield it up, and now I'm going to swap into my Palkia. They come in with Swampert, and this is just a guessing game. Are they going to full send the Earthquake or bait me with a Hydro Cannon? We go for the Aqua Tail just before they make it to that Earthquake. I'm going to respect the damage here, and they do full send the Earthquake, so that's a great shield. I can now overfarm massively and now throw just before they make it to the second Earthquake. We grab the shield, but they're in range for me to Dragon Breath, farm them down with my Reshiram. Earthquake does take us out, but we get the farm down, and I should be able to take out this Kyurem with a Fusion Flare from this range, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see an Arcanine, yet another pretty spicy pick for the Weather Cup. So very cool to see. The opponent's going to stay in, and they just go straight for a Psychic Fangs. That is absolutely fine. We'll let it go through. They now swap into Kingdra. I'm going to get off a charge move, and then I will swap into my Kyurem here. So we go for the crunch. No debuff, unfortunately, but we come in with the Kyurem, and as long as we don't get debuffed, we should be able to Dragon Breath farm them down. And there was no debuff there, so pretty fortunate for us. But they're now going to come in with Empoleon, and this is going to be great for us here because we go for the Draco Meteor. It does over 50% of their health. Even though it's resisted, we can come in with our Palkia, and we should be able to just Dragon Breath, farm them down after shielding once. The opponent is going to overfarm massively. This could actually be a Blizzard, so I will respect the damage. It is just a Drill Peck, so nice play by the opponent. Going to go for an Aqua Tail here, and I'm expecting they are running Wild Charge, so I'm going to swap after the next fast move, and we are able to catch it onto our Reshiram, and Wild Charge, even resisted, does take out the Reshiram, but it lowers their defense, allowing me to farm them down, get to an Aqua Tail up against Empoleon, and even resisted. This will be enough to take out the Empoleon and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, and into the final battle of this second set, leading into a Talonflame. The opponent is actually staying in here which is really good for me. They then swap into Pelipper, trying to catch a move. We're now going to go for a crunch. This will do a lot of damage, so the opponent does respect it, and now I swap and catch the Weather Ball perfectly onto my Kyurem. That wasn't like I was counting there, it's kind of just guessing when they might throw. Unfortunately, they do also make it to a Hurricane, so I'm going to respect the damage here, and we do correctly shield the Hurricane, so that's great. They're going to come back in with Talonflame. They don't throw straight away, allowing me to get to the Draco Meteor, but they do end up shielding it. But now all shields are down. I'm going to let this move go through, probably going to be a Flame Charge, and it does take me out because of that sub Ice typing, but we've got two Pokemon that double resist the Fire typing, so it's looking great here. Just have to respect that Brave Bird damage. They do go for the Brave Bird, and now they swap into a Jellicent, and we're looking to be great. I'm going to swap and catch the Shadow Ball onto my Reshiram, and Shadow Ball doesn't take us out, so we can get to a crunch at the last second, and this will put them into range where I can actually take them out with an Aqua Tail, which is a lot better for my Palkia, but even then it wouldn't have mattered because we'd still be able to get to another charge move here. And I go for that Draco Meteor. We actually don't get there, we just get the full farm down, but I'm able to take that game. And we did actually go 5-0 in that set, and now into the bonus battles. This is where I was running Fire Fang, and you can see up against Kingdra, that's obviously an awful matchup as they would double resist it instead of taking super effective from Dragon Breath, but we full send the Draco Meteor into that Swampert, taking them out there, flipping switch advantage. But once again, you can see that all three of these Pokemon that I'm facing would resist fire, so it's not that helpful to be running Fire Fang. The opponent does also farm me down, but I did debuff their attack, so I will let this move go through, and Dragon Claw doesn't even do 50%, so I can let a second Dragon Claw go through as well. And honestly, I don't really want to shield here. I'm going to swap out now as the opponent tries to snipe me with their Dragon Breaths from Kingdra. Gonna shield the Outrage. The opponent doesn't even bait here, and now I should just be able to shield once up against the Charizard and fully Dragon Breath farm them down. So we go for the shield there, and we get the farm down and take that game. So you can see that Fire Fang in that matchup was a massive hindrance. And into the next battle, we see Regirock in the lead. Not great because they do resist Fire Fang once again. And I'm swapping into a Pokemon that takes super effective damage from Stone Edge. And they swap into a Gyarados, so once again, another Pokemon that does resist fire. So you can see why I did end up changing it. We full send the Draco, they do end up shielding it, and now they can fully farm me down. Once again, I'm just going to fully sacrifice my Reshiram as it has no play so far. And unless they've got like a Alolan Sandshrew, or Sandslash, sorry, in the back, I don't really see why I'd use it, but they full send an Outrage there. I can now farm them down. They come in with a Poliwrath. And I'm just wondering, does a Stone Edge do more or does a Dynamic Punch? They go for a Dynamic Punch, I shield it up, I'm expecting some kind of catch. We go for an Aqua Tail here, and I somehow have to come out of this matchup with a shield and also a Draco Meteor loaded, so it's not going to be easy here. I kind of just have to tank this move and get the farm down, but I don't think I will tank a Stone Edge, and Stone Edge does take me out, and unfortunately I can't win that game. But yeah, another match where Fire Fang is not helpful, but here is actually the only matchup where Fire Fang was actually useful, and the opponent comes in with a Gigalith here, so what a cool spicy pick from this opponent. I did see a lot of spice, and it was very nice to see. They go for a Rock Slide here, so not even running Meteor Beam, or maybe they're running Meteor Beam and Rock Slide, not really sure, but we go for an Aqua Tail, we take them out, but they did grab a shield advantage, which is not ideal for us. We go for an Aqua Tail, they of course do let it go through, but it makes the farm down a lot easier. Now I'm going to shield in this matchup, and the opponent is not swapping out, and that's because they've got a Bomber Snow in the back, so I'm going to counter 5, try and catch the move here. They don't throw straight away, but it makes no difference. We can tank 2 Weather Balls. They actually went for an Energy Ball there for some reason. I have no clue why they did that, but that's perfectly fine. Weather Ball doesn't take us out. We get the Dragon Breath farm down, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, a Jellicent in the lead. So yep, another matchup where unfortunately it's no use running Fire Fang. They come in with Aggron, so this is going to be the Yonkers team with Jellicent, Aggron, I think it was Kingdra in the back, I can't quite remember. We unfortunately don't quite make it to a Draco Meteor, so we have to settle for the last second Glaciate, and we actually got them pretty low there. I'm going to come in with my Reshiram and once again just fully sacrifice it. And they go for the Meteor Beam, but they're double debuff, so it actually doesn't take us out, and we get the farm down. But yeah, it's not looking too good for us. I'm going to come in with my Palkia. Going to try and just get this as low as possible with the Dragon Breath damage. I'm going to have to shield probably twice in this matchup here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I will shield a second time. They go for that Shadow Ball. They now swap into Kingdra. I'm just going to full send that Draco. I'm expecting them to think I'm baiting, but they don't. And unfortunately, yeah, I'm just not going to be able to win that game. But yet another game where Fire Fang is just really not good. And into the next battle, another bad lead for us because we're running Fire Fang and not Dragon Breath. They now come in with Tapu Fini, so not looking great for us here. We will make it to 3 Aqua Tails though before they reach a Moonblast, and even though we're in the yellow health, they can't go for a Surf here. They have to full send that Moonblast, so I will make it to a 3rd Aqua Tail in time, and at this point I'm happy to let Palkia go down if they do make it to the Moonblast. So they're going to go for a Charge Move here, I'll let it go through, and they do full send the Moonblast. Now, what's important to note is if they were at 100 energy, they need 7 Water Guns to get to another Moonblast, but that's not 7, so I can let this move go through. It is just a Surf. Now, we're going to Dragon Breath, farm them down, swap into my Reshiram to catch a move, but they don't throw straight away, so I will respect the Brave Bird damage, and it is the Brave Bird, but they've got Kingdra in the back, and once again, Fire Fang is just holding us back so much. But into the final battle of this video, finally another matchup where Fire Fang is actually good. They swap into a Crustal, another very cool spicy pick. We are going to overfarm here as an Aqua Tail wouldn't quite take them out from this range. They go for a Rock Slide. I'm going to shield it up, farm to the back-to-back Aqua Tails here, and if they do want to commit a shield, I will win the CMP tie. So they do use a shield here. I can go for the second Aqua Tail, and this will be taking out the Crustal. And they're going to come back in with a Bomber Snow. They're actually running Razor Leaf, so even better for my Reshiram. Going to come in straight away. I will let this move go through, and I'm expecting I should be able to beat whatever is in the back. And it's a Jellicent, so I'm going to bank a Crunch and then swap into my Kyurem here. Gonna shield the first charge move, and what I'm trying to do is make it seem like I'm going to go for a Glaciate bait, but I actually go for the Draco Meteor, full sending it here. But they shield, so that's not ideal, and I'm actually making this matchup a lot harder than it needs to be. They go for a Shadow Ball. They're going to need to throw a second charge move to take us out, and they actually end up throwing way too late, allowing me to get to a Glaciate in time. That does debuff them on a CMP tie as well, but honestly it does not make a difference. They actually undercharge it, but I go for the Reshiram, going for a Crunch, taking them out there, get the full Fire Fang, farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. I had so much fun running this team, and honestly I feel like dragons are kind of busted in this meta, especially when there are so many teams that don't have a direct answer to them. So running 3 of them, you're just going to trample all over their team, and it also felt great to run 3 dragons that don't really see an awful lot of play. I mean, I guess Kyurem has a lot more play now in the Open Master League after getting Glaciate. But generally speaking, like, when have you last seen a Reshiram or a Palkia, especially in the Ultra League? It is kind of cool to see these underrepresented dragons getting a lot of play in this meta. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And as for my answer to the question of the day, for some reason, I really like Latios as a dragon legendary Pokemon. I'm not really sure why, but it is my favorite. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.